Have you ever stopped to wonder what's truly holding you back? It's a question that can be uncomfortable, but the answer is often simpler and closer to home than we think. For most of us, the biggest obstacle isn't a lack of talent, luck, or opportunity. It's where we place our focus. We've become experts at focusing on everything and everyone except ourselves. We spend our precious time and energy obsessing over what other people think, scrolling endlessly through social media, and measuring our lives against the carefully curated, filtered snapshots of others. We compare our chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, forgetting that every journey is unique. We pour our energy into worrying about things that are completely outside of our control: the opinions of strangers, the successes of our peers, the endless stream of global anxieties. But here's a fundamental truth that can change everything. Your life is a direct reflection of where you place your focus. If your attention is constantly drawn to problems, distractions, and things that don't serve your growth, then those are the very things that will multiply in your life. Your reality becomes a garden where you've only planted weeds. Imagine, for a moment, what would happen if you decided to shift that focus? What if, instead of looking outward for validation and direction, you turned your attention inward? What if you became relentlessly dedicated to your own growth, your habits, and your discipline? The moment you make that shift, everything begins to fall into place. Why? Because the things we all chase, confidence, success, and fulfillment, are not external commodities you can acquire. They are not rewards handed out by others. They are internal states of being that are cultivated from within. The people who create extraordinary lives aren't just lucky. They're not waiting for a sign from the universe or for the perfect moment to arrive. They have simply made a conscious, unwavering decision to focus on themselves. Let's talk about confidence. So many of us are waiting for someone else to tell us we're good enough. We chase likes, comments, and external approval, hoping that validation from others will finally make us feel worthy. But that kind of confidence is fragile, fleeting, and ultimately hollow. It can be given, and it can be taken away in an instant. True, unshakable confidence isn't given, it's built. And it's built brick by brick through action. It's forged in the fires of keeping the promises you make to yourself. You build it when you show up for yourself, especially on the days you don't feel like it. You make a commitment and you see it through. You follow through on your goals, even when the initial excitement has faded. Every time you do this, you're sending a powerful message to your subconscious mind. I am capable. I am reliable. I can trust myself. That is the bedrock of genuine confidence. Now, let's consider success. We often sabotage our own progress by constantly looking over our shoulder at what everyone else is doing. We scroll through feeds, comparing our journey, our timeline, and our accomplishments to others. This constant comparison is the thief of joy and the killer of progress. It drains our energy and distracts us from the one thing that truly matters: our own path. The only person you are in competition with is the person you were yesterday. If you can commit to making just one small, incremental improvement every single day, just 1% better, imagine the exponential growth you will see in a year. Success isn't about one giant leap or a single moment of breakthrough. It's the cumulative result of thousands of tiny, consistent actions taken over time. It's the daily choice of discipline over comfort, progress over perfection. It's understanding that every step forward, no matter how small or imperfect, is still a step in the right direction. Think about the sheer amount of mental and emotional energy you expend on things that don't serve you. The overthinking that paralyzes you, the self-doubt that whispers you're not good enough, the fear of judgment that keeps you playing small. What if, just as an experiment, you made a commitment to yourself for the next 30 days? A commitment to focus exclusively on your own growth. What if you woke up each morning and asked yourself a simple question? How can I make myself 1% better today? Imagine what would happen if you redirected all the energy you currently pour into distractions and started investing it into your goals, your mindset, and your habits. Your entire life would begin to transform. When you focus on yourself, you level up. It's an undeniable law of personal growth. And when you level up, a ripple effect occurs, and everything around you begins to elevate as well. Your relationships improve because you're no longer operating from a place of neediness or seeking validation. You're bringing a full cup of confidence and self-respect to the table. Your career grows because you're focused on honing your own skills and providing value, not on envying someone else's success. Your mindset shifts from one of scarcity and waiting to one of creation and empowerment. You're no longer waiting for the right circumstances to appear, you're actively creating them. But here's the hard truth. Most people never reach this state because they are stuck in a state of waiting for motivation to strike like lightning, waiting for the right time when all the stars align, waiting for someone to give them permission to pursue their dreams. Let me be unequivocally clear. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to drag you out of bed and force you to chase your ambitions. No one is going to hand you the life you want on a silver platter. That responsibility, that power, rests entirely on you. But the moment you decide to stop waiting and start moving, that is the moment the universe conspires to support you. That is the moment everything begins to fall into place. The world will never stop being distracting. Social media isn't going to disappear. The opinions of others will always exist. The only thing you have absolute control over is where you choose to place your focus. So today, make the decision. Make the unwavering commitment to focus on yourself. Choose to be the architect of your own growth. Pick one thing, just one small, manageable thing that will move your life forward, and take action on it. No more excuses, no more waiting, just movement. Because the second you commit to focusing on yourself, you set in motion a chain of events that will lead you to a future you once only dreamed of. Your energy is everything. It is the currency of your life. Where you place your attention is precisely where your energy flows, and that flow determines the entire direction of your existence. Take an honest inventory. How much of your day is spent worrying about what others are doing or thinking? How often do you find yourself trapped in cycles of comparison, overthinking, and getting lost in distractions that pull you further away from your own aspirations? Every minute you invest in things that do not serve you is a minute stolen from building the life you claim you want. The truth is, most people feel exhausted not because they are overworked, but because they are misplacing their energy. They are giving too much of themselves to the wrong things. They pour their focus into people who don't support them, into problems they cannot control, into fears that may never materialize, and into the crippling weight of self-doubt. They invest in everything except their own growth. And then they stand back and wonder why they feel stuck, why progress seems impossible. The answer is simple. They haven't learned to protect their focus. They haven't recognized that their energy is their most valuable and finite resource. You are given a limited amount of this precious energy every single day. What you choose to do with it literally shapes your future. If you squander it by worrying about others' opinions, you are willingly giving away your power. If you spend it obsessing over someone else's highlight reel, you are robbing time and potential from your own journey. If you allow distractions to hijack your day, you are handing over the controls of your life to external forces. But the moment you decide to reclaim that energy and redirect it inward, toward yourself, a profound shift occurs. Imagine what would happen if, instead of worrying about whether people like you, you focused on genuinely liking yourself. Imagine if, instead of dwelling on your mistakes, you focused on the lessons they could teach you. Imagine if, instead of wistfully wishing for a better life, you started taking the small, daily actions required to build one. This internal shift, moving from an external locus of control to an internal one, is the master key to unlocking everything you've ever chased. Success isn't about having the most talent, the best luck, or waiting for the perfect opportunity to fall into your lap. It is fundamentally about where you place your energy day in and day out. The people who consistently achieve their goals aren't always the smartest or the most gifted. They're the ones who have mastered the art of focus. They're the ones who understand that their energy is sacred and that wasting it on things that don't move them forward is a game they cannot afford to play. Think about the people who inspire you, the ones living the kind of life you dream about. Do you honestly believe they got there by spending their days scrolling through social media, consumed with envy over someone else's journey? Of course not. They got there by locking in on their own path with laser-like precision. They got there by being relentless in the pursuit of their goals. They got there by protecting their focus as if their future depended on it, because it did. And your future depends on it too. If you are serious about changing your life, you must start by changing where you place your energy. Cut out the distractions with surgical precision. Set firm boundaries with people and activities that drain you. Stop allowing the opinions of others to dictate your decisions. Be fiercely intentional about what and who gets your time. Every second you waste on something that doesn't serve you is a second you could have invested in getting better, stronger, and closer to your goals. This is why focus is the ultimate superpower. You don't need more time in the day. You don't need a sudden bolt of motivation, and you certainly don't need someone to come and rescue you. You simply need to stop leaking energy into things that don't matter and start channeling it with purpose into what does. The moment you make that commitment, you will realize something incredibly powerful. You were never truly stuck. You were just distracted. And when you finally learn to focus on yourself, everything else will inevitably fall into place.